So you want to get into Palia, but the amount of info and activities you can do, it's kind of overwhelming. It's kind of a lot, and you don't know where to start. Don't worry, I felt the same way when I started playing Palia, but hopefully by the end of this video, that feeling will go away. Hello, my name is Lakin and welcome back to our cozy little zoo. And in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through everything you need to know as a beginner in Palia, from the main things you should be focusing on all the way to proper Palia etiquette so you don't break any of those unspoken rules. And by the end of this video, you're going to not look or feel like such a Palia newbie. So firstly, right off the bat, what is Palia? I'm assuming since you clicked on this video, you know at least a little bit of what Palia is, but Palia is a free life sim MMO, and MMO stands for Massive Multiplayer Online, which means that you're able to play with other people. You're in a world where everyone else is doing their own thing just while you're doing your own thing. And I like to think of this game as a nice, cozy, relaxing time. But a lot of the things that you can do in Palia are questing. There's a really wonderful and in-depth storyline that goes throughout the entire game. As well as a lot of side quests and things like that. There are a lot of skills that you can level up and collect resources and do activities with, such as ranching, mining, foraging, hunting, bug catching, fishing, gardening, cooking, and furniture making. You can also have multiple plots and decorate a whole bunch of different plots with different houses on them, with all the different furniture that Palia has to offer. You can do what is known as Plushie hunts or cooking parties, which are usually group activities, but you can sort of do them by yourself as well as befriending and romancing the NPCs. So there's tons to do in this game. And really, there's no wrong way to play this game. But I will put a little caveat on that. Just because you can do whatever you want, it might be a little bit more difficult as a beginner to maybe just start off to where you're only decorating your plot, or you're doing high-level cooking parties or trying to catch the rarest bugs and things like that. So what should you actually be focusing on as a beginner? Because this game has so much you can do, and there's not really a tutorial, it can get overwhelming. So what I suggest you focus on in the beginning are the main storyline quests. You don't have to complete the entire story, but at least the first little bit of main storyline quests are gonna help you get acclimated to the world of Palia. So in the story of Palia, you are a human that has been teleported and crashed into the world of Palia, and humans are just now coming back, and so you're kind of stumbling around, not knowing what's going on in the story, as well as you as a player. So while it doesn't handhold you in the tutorial manner, it does kind of walk you through things just a little bit to help you get your feet under you. And also in the early quests, this is whenever you'll be able to get your glider when you see people kind of flying through the air, sort of. You'll be able to unlock that. You'll be able to unlock certain parts of the map. And as you progress in the story, it will also be easier to gather specific resources in some of the other worlds of Palia, as well as just doing the main story quests help you to gain friendship with some of the NPCs, and there are some recipes that you may really want that are going to help you out in your Palia adventure that are blocked by reaching friendship level 3 with a person or reaching friendship level 5 with a person. So don't just ignore the main story quests. Don't ignore the quests in general. If you don't like questing, I would suggest slowly working on them, just making sure that they're always kind of on your mind, even if you're not going super hard on them. The next thing that I highly recommend is reaching level 10 on all your skills. Try to get to level 10 pretty much as fast as you can, because once you get your skills up to level 10, that is pretty much when the entire game opens up to you. Things like updates, better tools, better equipment, resources like what's known as a honey lure, which helps you to, when you place it down, cultivates a whole bunch of bugs in one place, which is how you can get those rarer bugs, or how you can get plushies of bugs and things like that. You need to be a higher level. Also, when you reach that level 10 in a skill, you will unlock the guild stores. And the guild stores are essentially exclusive stores. So when you reach level 10 in fishing, you can go to Einar, who is the fishing NPC, and he will have a store, and you can spend this exclusive fishing guild currency at that store to get better resources, better supplies, but also cute decor that is fishing related. And all the skills have this type of store. So you may be like, okay, if I need to get my skills to level 10 as fast as possible, what's the best way to do that? The first thing you need to know about leveling up any of your skills is you need to make sure you always have food on you, so that way you can make sure that your focus bar is full. Your focus bar is the bar that is right below your username. When that is full, or when that has any amount of level in it, you will be able to gain XP through the tasks that you're doing. Now, you can still do tasks when your focus bar is completely empty, you just won't gain the XP. And the XP is what you need to level up. So make sure you always have at least a little bit of something in your focus bar. But Kilima Valley in and of itself, which is the world that has the town in it, it's where most of the NPCs live. This world is going to be your best friend as a beginner. So focus in on Kilima Valley. This is where you'll be able to gather the resources that are at your skill level, especially with the tools being at the lowest level. If you try to go to Bahari Bay or the Elder Woods, which are two of the other worlds inside of Palia that you can visit, when you try to mine, hunt, or gather those resources in those parts of the world, you're going to get a message that says your tool is not strong enough. But in Kilima Valley, you won't have that issue at all. And the best way to level up specifically your gathering, your hunting, your fishing, and your bug catching is to just run around and collect everything you see. If you see a choppa, hunt it down with your arrow. If you see a bug, catch it with your bug catching bombs. If you see a gatherable or a tree, chop it down. Same with the mining nodes or the little fishing bubbles. Now, you don't have to fish in the fishing bubbles. The fishing bubbles will give you gold star fish, but whenever I'm running around trying to catch everything, that's the spots that I will stop to fish at, because otherwise I could just fish for hours and hours and hours. I like to start at the edge of the map and then just slowly kind of go like up and down, just going like this throughout all of the map. So that way I can kind of see everything, go around to all the different areas, pick up a bunch of different stuff, and I don't really miss anything. Because in doing this, gathering everything, you're going to, 1, be leveling up all your skills at one time. 2, you're going to be gathering a lot of resources that you'll need. And you can store those in your inventory, or if you have plenty of wood, or you have plenty of copper, you can sell those items to get more money. Which is, if you look up best ways to make money, a lot of people are just gonna say just to gather everything. And that's the way that they make a lot of their money. Now, there may be some people that will say gardening or different things like that, but for the most part, it's not a waste of time to collect everything and what you don't need or you don't want to save for to use later, selling it and making money that way. Also, another way to level up even faster is if you join in a group. If you're in a group with other Palia players, and as long as you are within a 35-meter distance away from each other, or 114 feet, if they hunt a choppa and they take it down, you can still collect the loot. And when you pick up loot, that is when you get the XP. So just because they're the ones that hunted the choppa down, they'll still get the XP when they collect the loot. But because you were in a party with them and you are close enough to get the loot yourself, you will also get the XP. And this is also a good way to, if you have friends that are higher levels than you and they're able to go hang out in the Elder Woods, or they're able to go hang out in Bahari Bay and collect resources over there. If you're in a party with them, you might not be able to mine that Palium, but they can. And if you're close enough to them, you will still both be able to pick up that Palium and have it in your inventory to collect those resources, as well as collecting that XP, as long as your focus bar is full. So there's not like a quick fix of leveling up your skills. And I don't even have all of my skills at level 10, but the skills that I do have at level 10, it's so much easier to do them. So it's going to take time. You're going to have to do a lot of work to get them there. And if you really want to focus on fishing and you're like, that's the thing that I want to do a lot, do more fishing, but don't forget to collect other things along the way. And because of this collecting mentality, I've pretty much been able to level up my gathering resource without trying or setting out specifically, okay, I need to gather wood, or I need to gather these collectibles, like these collectible flowers and things like that, because I'm just doing it on my way while I do other things. Now, when it comes to leveling up your gardening, just make sure that you take care of your garden at around 6 a.m. every morning in Palia time, because a full day's cycle in Palia lasts 1 hour in real life time. So pretty much every hour, go back to your home plot, water and take care of your plants, because that will level up your gardening skill pretty quickly. Same with ranching. If you every day, but instead of every Palia day, every real life day, run around, take care of your farm animals, and have as many farm animals as you can at a time, that will also help. I was able to really increase the ranching skill without much trying, because I just kept at it daily or every other day, pretty much. Now, all these things, all these skills can be leveled up by yourself. You don't need to really play with other people. This game is an MMO, but it's not a dependent MMO. You don't have to be involved with other players. You don't have to really communicate. You don't have to do things together. But if you're interested in doing things together, a way to really increase your cooking skill is to do cooking parties. As well as a lot of people will gather up to do hunting parties as well. A lot of them will be focused in on plushie hunting, but through plushie hunting, you're gathering bugs, or you're hunting choppas, sernooks, things like that, and still gathering those resources. So I'll focus in on more of what those parties entail and how to get access to those parties, even if you don't have friends who play Palia. But there are ways for you to level up these skills with people or without people, just whatever your playing style prefers. And the last thing I'm going to tell you to focus on is your chest and your inventory. Palia has a universal inventory system. And what that means is you open up one chest and your entire inventory is in that chest. If you have two chests, they will have the same thing inside them if you look at them. Unless you have a locked chest, which you can have 3 locked chests on your plot, and those locked chests do not share inventory and you can't accidentally pull stuff out of them. So just kind of put things in the lockbox that you don't want to get rid of by accident. And what I mean by that is essentially whenever you're crafting with resources or you're cooking or things like that, those items will be pulled out of your universal storage and not your lockbox storage. But your universal storage is the most important thing to increase inventory on. You can only have 8 chests on your plot, and each of those chests has a set number of inventory slots that will add to your overall universal storage. You'll start with wooden chests that give you 400 storage slots per chest. So when you get all 8 of those wooden chests, usually by the time you get the 8, the next thing you'll want to focus in on is getting the copper storage chests from Tish's furniture store in Kilima Valley and leveling up all your chests to that, because the slots per copper chest is 825 slots. And then once you upgrade them all to copper, you can upgrade them all to iron, again by purchasing that recipe at Tish's furniture store. And each iron chest has 1,250 slots, increasing your storage that way. And then lastly, you can get pallium chests. And once you have the pallium chests, that is the max amount of storage you can have. A lot of people say it's still not enough, but it's what they give us. Each pallium chest gives you 1,750 slots of inventory, and you can have up to 8 of those. So even if you don't like mining, make sure that you are leveling up your mining, because that way you can get the resources to level up your storage chest. Because as you're getting more things and gathering more things, you may be like me and you want to hoard literally everything. So you need to make sure you're leveling up your chests. And when it comes to inventory in and of itself, my rule is if it is not something you craft with, so if it's like bugs, fish, gems, anything like that, I'll keep 5 of them, because that's a good number to kind of be like, okay, even if I need more, I have a 5 head start. And that way they're not also like clogging up my inventory space. And then if it is a craftable resource like wood, ores, or flowers to make fertilizer, things like that, I'll keep 100 of the resource uncrafted. And then whenever I get to that point, I'll start crafting with it and sell off extra or things like that. Now, a storage cheat that you should do when you go to process your wood, you put your wood in there, and then you see the 3 slots down at the bottom that will fill up over time with all the wood. Now, you don't pull out the wood planks that were crafted and instantly put them in your storage chest, especially if you're limited on space. Leave them in there, and the next time you need that specific wood, pull it out. Or if it's all full and you need to craft more of a different wood, pull one of the slots out, because it's not going to you're not going to lose that wood that is stored in there, and it's also not going to count and take up inventory space. Don't just instantly pull out your resources after they've been crafted to just save you on inventory space. So that's what I think you should focus in on. Once you get your skills up and once you get through a lot of the main story, you'll have a solid foundation to pretty much do whatever you desire in Palia without too much resistance. Now, when it comes to Palia as a whole, there's a lot more things we can do, a lot more activities and events that happen throughout all of Palia. So let's kind of step back and try to understand the world of Palia. Palia has 3 different worlds in it as of right now. We know that there's a 4th one coming, but it's not out yet, so we're just going to focus in on the 3. You have Kilima Valley, Bahari Bay, and Elderwoods. Each of those worlds get progressively harder and more difficult. And what I mean by that is, if you're a beginner, there is literally no reason to go into the Elderwood unless you just want to look around and check it out. You're not going to be able to really gather any of the resources. You're not going to be able to mine or hunt effectively unless you're with a party that has the resources to do so. And Bahari Bay is kind of the middleman. So these 3 worlds, they offer different resources. You can catch different bugs, different fish, there's different animals to hunt, and different gatherable resources to mine and things like that from the different worlds. And they've done a great job of the tools and the things you can mine, the things you can craft, slowly increase in rarity of materials, and will slowly be like, okay, I'm starting to need things that are coming from Bahari Bay. And by that time, you'll be able to gather the things in Bahari Bay a lot easier. Now, Palia is a free-to-play game, and none of the gameplay is blocked by payment. But because it's a free-to-play game, there is a premium store. But in this premium store, it is only cosmetic items. So when you see people running around in cute outfits or with animals beside them, they paid real money for those outfits. But again, you can play this game completely for free. I've played this game for almost 80 to 90 hours, and I have not paid once, and I've not had any issues with that whatsoever. But if you do want to support the game, you can get a cute outfit, but it's not required. There is one way to get a few cosmetic items for free, and that is with the new lunar paths that were released at the beginning of this year. So lunar paths are essentially a battle pass. If you play Disney Dreamlight Valley, it's like a star path. If you play other games like Fortnite and things like that, it's a battle pass. There is a free version and a premium version. The free version, like it says in the title, you can collect all those prizes for free without having to pay. And some of those are cosmetic items or furniture items, different things like that. And then the premium version is, if you pay real money, you can get those exclusive items from the path. Now, if you play some of those other games that I mentioned, Palia's Battle Pass system has one unique feature, and that is the passes never go away, never expire. So if you're starting today, you will have access to every lunar path that has been implemented, from the very first one to the most recent one. As you can see, I have access to all 4 paths. I have not finished any of the 4 paths because I just haven't. But they are there for me whenever I want. So there's no worrying about making sure you get it within the month. There's no worry about feeling stressed or that you're going to miss out on these items or anything like that. How I'm going about using these lunar paths is, once I fill up one for free, then if I liked a lot of the premium items, that is when I will pay for it, because you can pay for it after you complete it and collect all those premium prizes from the past. Now, the best ways to level up your lunar paths is to do the dailies. Now, if you go to in the middle of the town in Kilima Valley, or if you press I and go to the feature section, you will see what is known as dailies. And each real life day, there are 2 items that you have to either gather or craft. And once you've done so, you can check mark them off, claim it, and that will give you XP to go towards your lunar path. Or if you just run around doing random things, like when you're focusing in on leveling up your skills and gathering everything, you'll get a little XP for the lunar paths that way as well. Now, some of my favorite things within Palia are the events, the limited time events that Palia puts on. So there are some events that are kind of like group activities within Palia, which you can find them via the Palia Discord or the news on their website, or just on the front page when you first load up Palia. Things like we've had for a week, everyone is tasked to craft, as a whole community of Palia, 3 million soups. And if we craft those 3 million soups all together, then we'll get all these rewards and prizes. Same with growing a snowman and crafting snowmen and things like that. And you by yourself do not need to craft 3 million soups or that many snowmans. As long as you craft one and the community as a whole reaches that goal, you'll get all the prizes. And it's just kind of a fun thing to run around, mine things, or craft a whole bunch of soup and participate in reaching this goal as a collective community. Or there are also Magi Markets, which is a limited week-long event that happens once a month in-game. You'll go to this part of the map in Kilima Valley, and it will take you to the festival grounds. And here at the festival, you can play games such as Papa Choppa, where you get your bow and arrow out and pop as many balloons as you can. And the more balloons you pop, the more Magi Market tickets you get, which allows you to purchase exclusive food or decor from the market. Same with a game called Choppa Chase, where you'll run around a specific part of the festival grounds market and you'll pick up Choppas. Usually they're wearing little cowboy hats and it's so cute. And you'll put them back in their corral section. And whoever catches the most gets the most tickets and things like that. Or there is a game that is super duper popular in the Palia community, and that is Hot Pot. Hot Pot is kind of a mahjong style game where you have to have 3 matching tiles, whether they be in the same category or the exact same item itself, and whoever gets 3 matching sets first wins. And with all of these games, you will play them with other real players that are playing Palia. You can play Hot Pot against the NPCs if no one joins your game. It will automatically start after a certain number of minutes and you'll play against NPCs, but for the most part, these games are being played against other real humans, and that might seem intimidating at first, but they're a lot of fun. Most people are nice, and it's not that big of a deal. Also, there is the Underground, and the Underground is another place that you can play Hot Pot every day starting at 6 p.m. The Underground is a secret, exclusive club, essentially, that you can get access to through completing some of the main storyline quests. But essentially it's under Zeki's general store, and here you can play Hot Pot, you can purchase exclusive items that like rugs and things like that, and you can also play a game known as The Tower, which is kind of a parkour style, see if you can reach the very top type game. Now, we've been talking a lot about events and things like that that are Palia ran, but there's a lot of community-led events that you can join in on as well. And these are the plushie hunting parties or the cooking parties that I talked about earlier. So what is a cooking party? A cooking party is essentially when a whole group comes together to cook a singular meal, and because they all helped and took part in making the singular meal, everyone will get the loot. A lot of people like to do cake parties because cake is a really profitable thing to sell. So there's 5 of you, you all help cook one cake, you will each 5 get a separate cake that you can then go and sell. And one of the great things about these cooking parties is you don't need to have all the ingredients. As long as you have one of the ingredients and you're able to help in one of the steps of making whatever the cooking party is making, you will get access to that food in the end. Same with the plushie hunting parties. You'll see a lot of these community-led events on Twitch, and if you want to get involved in them, that's kind of one of the easiest ways to do it. But there is a website I'll tell you later on in the resources section where you can do so without being a part of someone's Twitch community. But plushie hunting is essentially when you join up, all party up, and you set down a honey lure, and all the bugs will spawn around, and you're trying to hunt for a specific plushie and things like that. And if one person in your party hits the bug that has the plushie in it, that randomly gets the plushie assigned to it, you will all get said plushie. Even if you're not in a party together, if both of you hit the same bug at the same time before it goes down, you'll both be able to get the loot, even if you're not in the party together. So this is great to help people who may have lower level skills, especially because a lot of the plushie hunting parties will require you to have your belt, your bug catching belt, at the lowest level. So that way it takes the most amount of smoke bombs to take down a bug, which means more people are likely to be able to hit said bug and gather the resources from it. So it's a great way to join in, level up your skills together, whether it's cooking or bug catching, things like that, as well as just gathering those resources that may be a little bit more difficult for you to get in the beginning. And it's also just a fun way to interact with the community and do things together, because when there's not exclusive games that you can play at the Magi Market and things like that, there's not much you can like specifically do with other people in Palia. You kind of have to make up your own fun. Now, this world is not just filled with other players. There are NPCs that you're able to build friendships with, as well as romance. And I'm not going to go too in depth with the NPCs. I may make a separate video focusing in on the NPCs. I may make a lot of separate videos to go more in depth in any of these sections. So if anything is confusing or you want more information, don't hesitate to let me know in the comments. But we have a lot of NPCs. Some of them live in the different worlds, but most of them live in Kilima Valley. And the main NPCs that you need to focus on gaining friendship with and things like that are essentially the ones that are correlated with the skills that you're leveling up. Ashura is one of the first NPCs that you will meet, and he will help upgrade your axe. And he has like the gatherable, he's kind of your gathering skill guy. Ani is the little boy that lives in Kilima. He is your bug catching guy. So he will help you upgrade your bug catching belt, as well as when you reach level 10, he will have the bug catching guild store. Badru is Ani's father, and he is the gardening person. Dahlia is Badru's wife, and she is the ranch hand. So all the animals, when you're ranching and things like that, go through her. Einar is our fishing robot, and he is personally my favorite NPC. You will often see Hassian with a dog named Tao, and Hassian is the hunter. So to get more arrows and a better bow and better arrows, you go to Hassian. Hodari is also one of the first people that you meet, and he is your mining guy. So anything and everything to do with your pickaxe, go to Hodari. Reth runs the kind of the bar or the restaurant inside the inn, and he is your cooking guy. And Tish, Reth's sister, is the one who runs the furniture making store, and that's the person you need to go to get your storage chest recipes. And then the last one for the skills is Sifu. Sifu is Hassian's mom, and she runs the blacksmithing area, and she will help you upgrade your tools. You don't have to go to her specifically. You can, but if you want to upgrade your tools, if you go to the blacksmith area in Kilima Valley and go up to the anvil itself, click on it, you'll be able to upgrade any and all of your tools that are depleted. So that way they don't break and go down a level. So I'd highly recommend becoming friends with all those people. Also, a lot of the other NPCs will have recipes and gifts that they can give you that will help you gather things for bundles or for other quests and things like that. So the best way to increase your friendship with them is by giving them gifts. Now, every real life day, you can give people their daily want, and each NPC will also have weekly wants as well. And when you give them these gifts, also when you talk to them, it will increase your friendship. So gifting them once a day in real life, so every real life 24 hours, and talking to them every Palia day. Now this is a lot, and I don't even do this, but because I don't do this, I've run into some things where I need to increase someone's friendship before I can continue moving on in the thing that I'm wanting to do, and I now have to wait. So as long as you're just, every time you see someone, pop over to that NPC, say hi, build up that friendship, so that way it can be slow and steady. And maybe every once in a while, set aside some time to give out gifts that people want. You can find what people want through the bulletin board in the middle of Kilima Valley's town, as well as there is a resource that I will be talking about later called Palia Tracker that will also tell you what the gifts everyone wants are. Now, maybe you're seeing some people in town and you're like, I don't want to just be friends. I want to romance them. Here on the screen, I am showing all the romanceable characters. Yes, even Einar the robot is romanceable. You can tell if a character is romanceable or not seeing a second bar in your friendship level when you are on your friendship tab in your inventory. So everyone that has 2 bars means that they have a friendship bar and a romance bar. Now, if you play Stardew Valley, you may know that if you try to romance more than one person, they get mad at you. But Palia does not have that issue. If you can romance every single person that's romanceable in Palia, and none of them will get mad at you. A lot of people kind of do, just so they can see all the storylines and they can get all the rewards and things like that from doing so. And you can show off 2 romance pins at a time. When you start romancing people, you can have romance pins, and that will show other players who your main 2 romanceable candidates are and things like that. You don't have to romance everyone, but you can, and it's a lot of fun. Now that we've talked about NPCs and how to increase our friendship with them, how to romance them, how to get them to like us, there's specific rules, unspoken rules that the community as a whole in Palia has come up with to make Palia kind of run smoothly. And these are very important if you want to be a good Palia citizen. If you've accidentally broken some of these rules, it's not the end of the world. Not everyone plays by them. This is just what a lot of people do and use and kind of go by. You're not going to be banned if you break any of these. You just may sometimes run across someone that is very angry with you if they care strongly about these rules. So these are just kind of things to help you be a good Palia citizen. The first one is grove rules. So at 12 a.m. in Palia, every in-game day, a grove of flow trees will spawn in Bahari Bay. This means that there's like usually around 6 trees that spawn in a section, and a lot of people around 12 will begin searching for that grove. When that grove is found, if you are the one to find it, or if someone else calls it out in the chat and lets you know where it is, and you go to it, it is courteous to tap all the trees with your axe once and then wait until 3 a.m. in-game time. Now, why are you waiting until 3 a.m.? This gives people from all over the map to get to that point where the flow trees are. This gives everyone who's interested in cutting down the trees and getting some of the loot, giving them time to come and get it, because the maps are kind of big and vast. But as long as you hit them once, even if you went away and didn't help tear them down, or if you don't have a strong enough axe to really help, as long as you're able to hit them once, you will get that collective loot and things like that. When you find a flow tree or a flow tree grove, call it out, flare it, and then wait until 3 a.m. when everyone else is ready to chop down. And then all of y'all will go to one tree at a time and chop each of the trees down. Same with calling out rare minerals. So as you're going around collecting everything, there's going to be times when you find rarer minerals. Now, most of the rare minerals that can be found are going to be in like Bahari Bay and Elderwoods. But there is silver in Kilima Valley or rummage piles in Kilima Valley that when they're found, especially if they are larger, like a larger node of silver, it's nice to call those out. So how do you call out a mineral or a thing that is rarer? You collect it yourself, and then you can do one of 2 things. you can either type in chat, medium silver node in I-5. And where you get the coordinates for I-5 is if you look at the map, you can see at the top and on the side is letters and numbers, and then there's a whole bunch of squares on the map. And if you follow one of the letters and one of the numbers and you find the point where they collide and where you are, that is your coordinates. So I-5, A2, different things like that. And then this helps narrow down the search for people who are interested in that rare material. Now, if you're scared to type in chat or you can't really type in chat, getting a flare arrow or crafting a flare arrow and flaring the item will cause a green plume of smoke to go up into the air and stay for around 3 minutes at a time. And this will identify any nearby people that, hey, there's a rare material over here. You might want to go check it out. Now, there are flow trees that also spawn just randomly throughout the worlds that you don't need to wait until 3 a.m. to cut down. If it's a singular tree, you don't need to worry about it. Now, if it is a small flow tree and you can just cut that down by yourself and not worry about it. But if it is a bigger flow tree that you're not able to cut down by yourself, calling that out in chat and kind of waiting like 5 minutes to see if anyone else comes to help you cut it down is nice. It's a very nice thing to do. Another thing is just essentially allowing everyone to tag the resource that you're getting. If you're not hunting in a party, but you're kind of hunting with other people, making sure everyone gets a hit on the bug or the flow tree that you're chopping down will guarantee everyone gets the loot. This is especially important if you're not in a party with someone. But say you've set down a honey lure or they've set down a honey lure and you're not in a party with them and you've asked, hey, can I join? And things like that. Hitting bugs and especially if it's a rarer bug and allowing them to also hit it make sure that everyone gets the proper use of the honey lure or the flow tree and things like that. And if you are going to be using someone else's honey lure specifically, because they do take a lot of resources to craft, show your gratitude, say thanks in the chat, do an emote that says thank you if you can't chat, and also asking if you can join is appreciated. Just showing that you're like, hey, thank you so much. It goes a long way. A lot of times what I like to do is if I see someone using a honey lure and I'm able to join in, I will sometimes place my own honey lure after theirs is done. That way, we're both using one honey lure, but we're getting 2 times the resources and things like that. Now, the next thing is just kind of being aware of your surroundings. If you're running through a open field in particularly, just kind of do a quick cursory glance, see if there's anyone actively hunting or catching bugs in that area, because if you run through an area, you're gonna scare away everything. So if you do see that someone's hunting, just kind of stop shifting, stop running, and just kind of walk through the area, or may go the long way around, just so that way you're not scaring off anything or anything such as that. And then lastly, item requests. So if you press the O button, you will open up your access to see everyone who's on the server. You'll also be able to see your friends that you've made, whether they're online or not. You'll be able to see your party, and you'll be able to see server requests. So if you need an item, you can request it, and then someone else in the server can fulfill it for you. And you can do the same for other people. So every once in a while, just go on there, see if there's requests that you can fulfill and help another player out. If you need an item and no one's fulfilled it in a little bit, don't spam the chat, but you can prompt in the chat, be like, hey, I have a request for this. Does anyone have it? Can anyone help me? And if no one responds, don't just keep spamming it. Just kind of let it be. But sometimes people will forget to look in the chat. So that's one of the things that I like to do is just every once in a while, check the requests and see what I can do. And if someone does fulfill my request that I've asked for, just say thank you in the chat. And it doesn't have to be like a whole thank you speech. It can just be like a THX. Thanks. That just helps to show goodwill and favor amongst your other player. But really, all these rules are just kind of just being considerate of everyone around you and making sure everyone has access to the same resources that you do, and just kind of being mindful of the world as a whole. Now, this may be a lot of information. I know it's a lot of information, and we're just kind of scratching the surface of it all. But I promise this is pretty much all you need before you can start playing the game and understanding things as your own. But if you need help remembering things like, where can I catch this fish? What is this NPC's gift that they're wanting? What do I need for that bundle again? How do I complete this quest? What is going on? These are the resources that you need to tab, the resources you need to bookmark. And sometimes I have them all pulled up while I'm playing Palia at the same time. So the first one is the Palia Wiki. Now, I'll have all of these resources linked in the description of this video, but the Palia Wiki is essentially your go-to guide. It has literally everything. If you want to know about what was in the newest update, if you want to know how to complete a quest, if you want to know the backstory and the lore of an NPC, or just what is going on with this fish, it has it all. I have this pulled up every time I play Palia. The information is pretty accurate and it gets updated pretty quickly. So it is a wonderful resource to have. The next resource is the Palia Tracker. Now this, as long as you don't clear out your cookies on the website, you can actually mark things off and keep it as a checklist. And this website is where you're gonna go to see what people want for the week, if you're wanting to give people gifts, what bundles we'll need. And also, if you look at all the fish and the bugs, you can see what time you can catch them, where in the world you can go to get them, and what kind of bait they'll need if they're a fish and things like that. And while the Palia Wiki will also have all this information, the Palia Tracker has it in a much more condensed fashion, so it's easier to read, and you don't have to like look through a whole big page to see. So I like to use the Palia Tracker when I'm needing to track and look at a bunch of different things. But if I just need reminding of like how to craft one item or what I need to do with this quest and things like that, I'll go to the Palia Wiki for that. And also in the Palia Tracker, you can track what furniture you have, you can track what plushies you've received from hunting or bug catching, and it also has a money-making guide on there as well. This next resource you don't need to use as often, but every once in a while I like to do a garden refresh, and the garden planner is amazing for that. So essentially, you can mark out how you want to plant things in your garden within however many plots you have, and you can kind of see how much you'll make, how much you will harvest or yield from this, and also like what effects are given across the board. So if you really don't like watering your garden, making sure you have the plants that will increase water retention laid out, or if you want to focus in on getting star quality items, making sure those plants are there, or combining star quality and water retention. Don't have to water, but you get better starred plants and different things like that. So you can kind of lay it out, figure out what you want to do without having to do it in game and wait and hope and see. And then the last one is the Palia Party website. I don't use this website personally a lot because I don't like to do a lot of the multiplayer aspects of this game. But if you're interested in grouping up with people, doing cooking parties, hunting parties, if you're interested in doing all of that, Palia Party is one of the best places to do that. Usually at any time, there's always a cooking party going on, there's always a plushie hunt going on, and that way it fits within your time schedule, and it's a wonderful resource for that. So if you really want to get involved with the community and meet a whole bunch of other Palia people, I highly suggest this website. But at the end of the day, the most important thing that you need to know as a beginner is play at your own pace. You may feel behind in this game and like you need to rush to catch up with everyone else, especially if you're watching people play this game who have played it for years, but you have a privilege and a treat that they don't get anymore. And that is you have the whole game in front of you. You have all the story quests. You have all the resources and the things that you need to gather and work on to complete. You have tasks and goals ahead of you. People who have been playing it for a really long time and have thousands of hours in this game, sometimes all they can really do is play the new update for a few days and then they've done everything and now they just have to wait until the next update comes out. And they have to kind of figure out on their own, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing that I always do every time, but you get to have everything open to you. So it's not always gonna be like that. You're not always gonna be drowning in quests and things you need to do. So don't rush it, enjoy it. Because there will be a point in time when you get past everything and you'll kind of run out of things to do in Palia. So relax. Enjoy the vibes, enjoy the Palia atmosphere, and have fun. At the end of the day, everything I've talked about is just from my experience as someone who has played this game for 80 hours. And in the beginning, I got very overwhelmed and I tried to rush so that way I could do specific things. And I kind of tried to play this game the hard way because I didn't want to focus on questing and I didn't really want to do the things that I'm telling you to focus on. I wanted to do the things that I was seeing everyone else do, and it made the game not fun. So while you can play this game however you want, this is my advice as someone who has played this game for 80 hours, and I feel like an intermediate player. I feel like I'm just now getting a good grasp on everything. So, but with that being said, I hope that this beginner's guide has helped you feel less overwhelmed, get a good grasp on what Palia is as a whole, and kind of what you can expect from this game or what you should be focusing your attention on. If there's anything you want me to make a more in-depth video on, please let me know. I'm definitely gonna be making more in-depth videos on NPCs, hunting, gathering, how to make money, things like that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I hope it helped you because this is a video that I wish I had when I first started. But with that being said, if you want to see more Palia content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We stream Palia. Usually I'm live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as of right now. And we play Palia, Disney Dreamlight Valley, and other life sim games like that, as well as I'm gonna be making more Palia long form content as well. So if you subscribe, you'll be notified the next time we're hanging out in Palia together. So I guess the only thing I have left to say is I'll see you in the next one. Bye!